This morning, I woke up and hit the ground running. I identified the goals that I wanted to accomplish and reviewed the ones that I'm already working on. And I thought about how many people get frustrated with the process of goal setting. But for me, goal setting has become like my best friend. Goal setting has become one of the things that I'm really passionate and pumped up and excited about because I feel like as humans, as individuals, we should always be seeking opportunities to grow, opportunities to strengthen our resolve, opportunities to become more of who we know that we're ultimately called to be. Now, I'm also not naive enough to believe that goal setting is always fun or that everyone loves it as much as I do. And so today I wanted to come and share my 3C strategy that I've incorporated into my goal setting system and routine in order to be successful and less overwhelmed with the goal setting process. So when setting a new goal, I follow my 3C system that helps me to really understand my goal, make sure that I'm on the right path, and most importantly, be able to accomplish it. One thing that I'm passionate about as a coach is to make sure that I'm not just giving you information, but that I'm actually giving you transformation, meaning that the information I'm giving is stuff that you can apply so that you can start having transformations within your life. So I want you to pull out pen, paper, pad, whatever you need to do. And I want you to walk through this system with me because when we're all done with this video, you're going to be able to take this, apply it to your goal, and go after it unapologetically. So the first C in my 3C system is clarity. Clarity, clarity, clarity. Here's the thing. When we set goals, if we aren't clear about what those goals look like or what it's going to take to actually get there, it's going to be challenging to actually be able to accomplish them. So when you think about your goal, I want you to take a moment and I want you to visualize it. I want you to think about what you'll see when you accomplish a goal, what you'll feel, what you'll think about, how you'll know that you've actually accomplished it. I want you to get really clear about it. And then I want you to take it a step further and I want you to identify and create clarity around the steps that you need to take to actually be able to accomplish the goal. I like to look at goals just like directions, right? When we're going to a new destination, we plug in our GPS and we plug in where we are and we plug in where we're going, and then we have a step-by-step guidance that gets us there. So basically, in order to get to the destination, you got to have those step-by-step directions to be able to get there. But here's the thing. Sometimes as we're driving along the way, we'll run into roadblocks or detours, and we have to be willing to make a change as necessary. So that pulls me to my second C, which is change. During the process of the goal setting system, you got to be willing to make the changes that are necessary, and you also got to be willing to embrace change because it's just going to happen. So when you're identifying the goal that you want to set and you've gotten and you worked on that clarity around that goal, you need to take it a step further and figure out what needs to change. What do you need to change in order to make room for the goal that you ultimately would like to accomplish? Are there mindset blocks that you have that you need to alter or change? Are there physical distractions that maybe you need to change? Are there patterns or habits that need to be altered or changed as well for you to get there? Also, on the flip side, when you're setting goals, I talked about that roadblocks will come or you may need to take a detour. So if you follow the first step and you've gotten clarity around what your goal is going to look like and the steps you need to take to get there, and then a roadblock or a detour comes, you have to be willing to make change. So many of us run from change like it is our worst enemy. But here's the reality. Life, the only thing constant in life is change. The only thing consistent is change. And so if we don't learn to embrace it, we're not ever going to be able to move past it. So quiet is kept. Change does not even actually have to be challenging. You can learn to embrace change. And one thing that I do is I learn to embrace and strengthen my resilience muscle. Because the reality is I've set a lot of goals and some of them have gone really smooth and some of them have gone rocky. But that doesn't mean that you change the goal. That just means that you're willing to make changes along the way to still get there. You may need to change that step-by-step guidance that you originally outlined in step 1. But as long as you have clarity around what the big picture goal is and you're willing to embrace change and make adjustments as you see fit, you're still able to get to the outcome that you deserve and desire. So once you've gotten clarity around your goal, once you've embraced the idea that you may have to make changes or that you need to be prepared that changes may take place down the road, then you move into the third step, which honestly I believe is probably the most important, and that is commitment. Now, let me explain. You can get all the clarity that you want around your goal. You can be willing to embrace all the change or even think about all the change that may need to take place. But if you are not going to be consistently committed to your goal, you're never going to accomplish it. Here's the truth. A lot of us are pumped up, we're motivated, we're excited, we're ready to, dive in head first when it comes to setting our goals. And we feel that motivation really strong in the beginning. And then after a time, motivation begins to wane, right? Motivation falls off when you're out of your comfort zone. Motivation falls off when you're no longer realizing that the goal isn't kind of convenient. Motivation falls off when you're frustrated or when you're overwhelmed or when it feels so far out of your reach. And if you base your goal and working on your goal only when you're motivated, you'll never be able to accomplish it. And so here's the reality. You gotta be willing to be consistently committed. And when I think about the word committed, I think about how we have to be committed long after the mood in which we committed in has left us. I remember having my daughters and thinking they were so beautiful when they were little, and then they became toddlers that went crazy. I didn't get to say, well, this parenting thing is a little bit much, because I was real excited when I had them and they were newborns and easy. And now that they're toddlers and walking and getting this stuff, I don't want to be committed anymore. We need to show up for our goals with that same level of energy that we approach the other important aspects of our life as well. I know commitment can be frustrating. Commitment can be overwhelming. Commitment can be a lot of work, but commitment is something that you'll never grow to regret. I sadly feel like most people don't have the ability to consistently commit to something. And that's why they end up frustrated, because they bounce from one job to the next, or they bounce from one relationship to the next, or they bounce from one goal to the next, because the process of commitment requires a lot of sacrifice. It requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of dedication. But here's the thing, the more you practice being consistently committed, the closer you get ultimately to the goal that you want to accomplish. So one thing that I suggest for the commitment process is thinking about how you can be committed in unique ways. Commitment may be an accountability partner. Commitment may be a one-on-one coach. Commitment may be, printing out a contract and holding yourself accountable. I had a friend of mine who was so committed to her health goals that one of the things that she did is she told her trainer that she would pay him $100 at the end of the month if she missed a single session with him. That's how committed she was. So not only was she paying him to be there, if she missed a session, she still had to pay, but then she was going to give him an extra $100 if she didn't show, because she knew that she didn't want to lose that extra $100. So that forced her hand in that commitment aspect. When I was writing my very first book, I wrote a contract that I signed and gave to myself. And because it was in physical writing and I had to confront it and think about it and process it, that held me to a higher standard. My clients work together in groups and cohorts and get with accountability partners, because that adds that extra layer of commitment. And let me just tell you, when you have that extra layer of commitment and you're consistently committed, you're more likely to be able to accomplish your goal, and you're less likely to fall victim to falling back into your comfort zone or into your old pattern thinking and habits. I am such a firm believer that committing to yourself, to your future, and to your goals is the strongest form of self-love. Unfortunately, most of us give up so quick. We give up because we don't have the clarity around what the goal process really takes and really entails and what it could possibly mean for us. We give up because the idea of having to make changes feels uncomfortable. It pushes us too far out of our comfort zone and doesn't feel as exciting. And we always want to seek pleasure instead of seeking growth, right? And then we aren't committed because the process of commitment requires a lot of work. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to take this all at once and apply it. You can take it one step at a time, simply by identifying the goal that you want to accomplish, allowing yourself to visualize what that means for you and what this goal can do for you, allowing yourself to really get clear about the steps that it's going to take to get there. Because remember, we need a step-by-step guidance system in order to have a blueprint or a map, so to speak, to follow to be able to get there. Then you move into identifying what changes need to take place so that you're able to make room for the things that are important, and what changes you're willing to embrace, and how you can strengthen that resilience muscle so that when the inevitable change does come, you're willing and able to push past it. And then third, then you move into the commitment phase. How can you show up and be more committed to your goals so that you can be consistent and able to actually accomplish them? The reality is this system doesn't need to be challenging or overwhelming or even frustrating. Goal setting is not something that is unique to me and I'm the only one that can accomplish it, or unique to whoever you look up to, that a celebrity or Oprah or whoever it may be. Goal setting is something that's well within your reach if you're willing to follow a system, implement the system, and be consistently committed to it. You can accomplish the things that you ultimately desire and deserve as well. If you're looking for more support on your goal setting journey, you want the strategies to increase your productivity, you want some strategies to be able to unapologetically and consistently show up for your goals and show up for your future, then sign up for a totally free strategy call with me where we can hop on the phone. You can tell me about your big goal and really play it out for me. And then I can tell you as a coach how I can step in and support you on this journey. I am beyond excited to help people take their vision and their ideas and their hopes and their aspirations and actually birth it and actually bring it to life. And I would love to support you on the journey as well. So use the link below to sign up, and I look forward to chatting with you super soon.